So, question is who doesn't understand price action, or who doesn't have a clear understanding of how to use price action when trading? Can you guys hear me okay?
I can hear you. I understand it, but I sometimes if I don't study and focus in, I'll get caught in a reversal and breaking close if I don't focus in, laser focus and check my different time frames, and I have to really talk to myself before I even sit down. I think I get excited about things, and so a couple of times May and I talked about getting caught in reversals and what we should be looking at and what. But yeah, I've gotten caught in reversals.
Okay, so you mentioned reversals, and I was talking about price action.
Oh, price action. Okay.
So when I say price action, or how I understand price action, to me, it's basically where's price
Mm-hmm.
at a support or resistance, or
Mm-hmm.
in this case, an all-time high.
Oh, okay.
And what are the candles telling me? Am I looking at hanging man, spinning tops,
Okay.
shooting stars, reversed inverted hammer? What am I looking at? What is my price action telling me? Right?
Okay.
Your reversal is going to come after you enter your trade.
Right. Okay.
And and you've got to be careful to not confuse a reversal with a pullback. They're two completely different things, right? A reversal means price is going this way, it turned around and went the other way, and it keeps going. It's past market structure, and it's heading to the basement.
Yes.
A pullback is price goes up, pulls back, price goes up, pulls back, price goes up, pulls back, price goes up, pulls back. Two completely different things. So as you're trading, you've got to understand that there's about a 99.9% chance in a trade you're going to get a pullback. And it just depends on what you're looking at. If you're playing on smaller time frames, like the 5 minute, 3 minute, 2 minute, you're going to see pullbacks like crazy. It's going to be like pullback again. It's like every candle is like this, right? You're going to drive yourself nuts. So, and Martin had asked about doing the all-time high stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about that. I'm going to show you how I trade an all-time high. And believe it or not, the only difference is one caveat is using pivots. Other than that, everything else is the same, right? So what does that mean? So let me share my screen here. Can you guys see my chart?
Yes.
All right. So this is SPY. You'll notice I have it on the 15-minute, the 1 hour, and the 4 hour. I'm not looking at 3 minutes. The only time I'm going, and I want to be very clear on this. The only time I go down to a 5 minute or a 3 minute candle is when I'm ready to enter, or getting really close, getting really, really close to entering a trade. Right? I'm not on that. I'm not looking at, because the 5 minute, 3 minutes is going to mess my brain up. So I don't go there. I'm looking at higher time frames. So let's talk about all-time highs. So we can see, hey Laura, so we can see that the price, basically everything's hitting all-time highs like all day long, right? It's been all-time high, all-time high, all-time high. And if we're going to win this trading game, excuse me for 1 minute, I want to check something. If we're going to win this trading game, we've got to have a process in place that's going to allow us to win more than we're losing. So in the morning time, unless you're planning on getting up, and you might want to even get up a little bit earlier, get up 30 minutes earlier, rather than looking at your charts at 8:15, maybe start looking at them at 7:45 if you have time, if your schedule allows. So I've got the 15-minute, the 1 hour, and the 4 hour time. Let me get this out of the way. It's blocking me. And the 4 hour time frame up here. I turned on extended trading hours because I want to see, and this is easy for me. I do this on SPX, but I'm showing those for people that trade SPY, and it's going to apply to anything. It doesn't matter. I want to look, I want to go back. Remember I talked about yesterday, sort of back test your day, right? So here it is, it's 8 o'clock in the morning, right here, right? We got our 8 o'clock candles open somewhere in this time frame. What I want to do is I want to go up to a higher time frame. We're at all-time highs. A couple of things are going to happen at all-time high, right? It's going to come up to all-time high, it's going to turn around and come back, or it's going to break through all-time high and head to the ceiling. If it's going to break through the all-time high, I'm looking for break and close on multiple time frames. Now here, the 4-hour time frame might not be applicable, so I might go down to the 1 hour, the 15-minute, and the 5-minute to wait for candles to break and close. Now this is going into a buy or going into a call, heading into the discovery zone. I'm looking for price to break and price to close on 3 different time frames, right? If I'm going to buy, and I'm going to turn on my pivots to give me a chance or to sort of give me an idea on where I should get out. That's the only thing I'm using. I don't need to use my pivots down here because I've got price action down here. I'm waiting for price to break the all-time high on 3 time frames, and then it's going to close, and then it's going to continue. I've got to wait for that next candle. If that next candle, if it's just what I call a sneak and peek, where it closes, but then the next candle turns around and starts heading to the basement, I need to look at a much higher time frame to see if there's a wick on that. My higher time frames are usually going to tell me which direction overall price action is going to go. You guys see that? Does that make sense? Am I tracking okay? Right. So when I get up in the morning, give yourself time enough to look at the day prior to, right? Look at price action. 15-minute price action is a little bit ugly. The 1 hour price action is a little bit more clear. I've got a nice spinning top candle. You can't really see it because I got my old guy eyeballs on. I've got what's possibly a hanging man and a shooting star. If I'm looking at all of this coming into a little consolidation, this tells me that price is not going up, price is going down. It's hard to tell on the 15-minute because it's a little bit ugly, right? If I go to my 4-hour, I look at the 3 o'clock candle right here on my 4-hour. That is a clear shooting star all day long. There's absolutely no reason that price isn't going to head to the bid. Now, what do I look for next? Right? What do I want to look for next is when I'm in here and it's the 8 o'clock hour and I'm looking around saying, okay, where's price action? I say, okay, I got a spinning top here. I've got a shooting star over here. I've got, I'm not too sure. I'm not even going down to the 5-minute because it's going to be too messy. I'm looking at this stuff. Where do I want to go? I've got my previous daily high right here. I'm like, there's a good entry right there. I watched price action come down. It did some crazy stuff. I'm waiting for a price to break and close below my previous daily high. I've got a fair value gap in here. Price breaks through my fair value gap and it continues on down. It did a little bit of a pullback, right? It continues on down all the way below my fair value gap and headed to the basement. But if I look at my 4-hour, look at how clean this traffic is on 4-hour. There's absolutely no reason other than we got a nice wick here that pulled back. If I would have entered up here, and we can't do that, of course, on SPY because you can't enter in pre-market. But if I entered this trade anytime after the market opens for a put and just stayed in that trade and just watched it, it's going to do some pullbacks, right? It's going to do this. It's going to continue down, and you're going to get out of the trade, right? You've got to have your basic entry and exit plan, whatever. You might not stay into the bottom of the fair value gap. You might get out somewhere like I did, right? I got out at about 2/3 of the fair value gap. That's where I took my trade to, was like right here. That was my SPY trade this morning. This is my SPY trade. Got in right here, just as it closed underneath. I went down to my 5-minute and my 3-minute to confirm my entries, and I entered right here, and I rode this bad boy down and just watched it. It just kept going and going and going and going. It came down here, literally closed my trade, and then turned around and did a pullback. Came back up here and turned around and then headed back to the basement, right? That's what trades do all day long. The challenge is you're never going to see this. You're just not going to see this. So go back to answer answering the question about what do you do at all-time high? Check price action. So the first thing you want to do is check price action on multiple time frames. Stay away from low time frames. Do 15 minutes or higher, right? The 5 minute, the 3 minute, the 2 minute, 1 minute are going to do you absolutely no good unless you're a scalping king or queen. And I'm not talking about scalping. I'm talking about staying in a trade for a little while, right? Sometimes a little while will be 10 or 15 minutes. Some people call that scalping, but I'm not looking at the 5 minute or the 3 minute because I'm going to get out of the trade too fast doing that. Again, I only use the 3 minute and the 5 minute just to laser focus my entry, and then I'm off of that time frame. I'm not sitting there watching it go up and down. It's going to drive me nuts. I'm looking at my higher time frames to tell me, do I need to just ride this trade out to the bottom? I rode this trade out because I'm following my own personal rules of fair value gaps. Typically, I would go to the 50%, but today I was looking to my left and I saw all this price action over here, and I said, it's probably going to push to about 2/3. And it's lo and behold, it's exactly what it did. It turned around. Sometimes your subconscious mind just shows you just see stuff, right? Somewhere over here, I saw that price was going to maybe this wick and this price action over here, something over here just told me, like, get out right here. That's where I said it. Got out, came down, hit it, boom, closed the trade, and turned around and went out. So going back to all-time highs, what do we do at all-time highs? If it breaks and heads to the north, I've got to turn on my Fibonacci's because this is my get out, right? It's my first Fibonacci or my first Fibonacci pivot level above an all-time high is where I'm getting out. You can get out sooner or one, but that's the highest I'm getting out if I'm taking a trade into the discovery zone. If price action is telling me we ain't going there because it came up, it came all the way out of this hammer candle, ran right up here, did a little bit of overnight, the 3 o'clock overnight jump that SPY does, gave me a sweet spinning top, followed by a hangman, followed by a shooting star. There's absolutely no way that this price is going to go up. It's just not, right? Looking at my 4 hour, obviously not. There's no reason why you would enter a buy in this situation unless you're down on a 3 minute, 5 minute, right? That's just now. It doesn't mean you can't enter a buy right here. You get in, you catch this buy, and you're scalping, right? Or you catch this one right here, which is a reversal, or not. I'm sorry, not a reversal, but a pullback, right? So when you get that right, so when you're entering your trades, it just depends on what type of trader you are, right, Boya? Or I'm Carlotta. All right.
Yes.
So let's go look at SPX. To me, SPX was a lot cleaner, right? So I'm looking at my 15 minute, just like on SPY. 15 minute is a little bit messy. So here's my 8 o'clock hour, right? This is where I'm looking at 8 o'clock. This is the 8:15. This is the 8 o'clock candle. This isn't really giving me a lot to really look at, right? Looking at my 15-minute time frame. So I'm going to bounce up, and I usually have 3 windows open, so I'm looking at them all at the same time. Go over to my 1 hour time frame. Ooh, my 1 hour is looking really sweet, right? I'm looking at, again, I'm at the 8 o'clock hour. Right in here is where I'm looking at. Market is open. Now, the cool thing about S&P 500 is you can trade this before the market opens. I don't have to wait till 8:30. Same thing with US 30, right? So got a nice huge spinning top here, followed by another spinning top, followed by this bad boy's heading to the basement. I've got a I've got a
Inverted.
shooting star right here, spinning top, shooting star, consolidation, heading to the basement, fair value gap all day long. This is where price is going. It's coming down here to eat up these fair value gaps. There's a fair value gap here, and there's a fair value gap here, right? Two fair value gaps. This fair value gap here, it just came through and it ran right through that one. And it came down and parked its butt here. I don't know. I've got to finish out the replay here. And then I go up to the 4 hour, right? I want to look at the 4 hour. 4 hour price action again, telling me the same thing. Spinning top, hangman, get in the trade. I don't even have to wait because on Forex, I don't have to wait till 8:30 to trade. I can just hit the go button, right? And my get out would have probably been the top of this fair value gap on this trade. I don't remember where I got out on SPX. Hold on, let me see. Let me hit the play button down here and see what happens. Let's go back to the 15-minute. So as this ran up, it did exactly what SPY did. It came down to about 2/3 of the fair value, 15-minute fair value gap, turned around, popped it back out, came back down, blew through the fair value gap, retested the bottom of the fair value gap. If you guys are seeing something, fair value gaps are fun to play with if you understand how to use them, when to get in and when to get out, right? If it pops through on multiple time frames, which it did, it popped through multiple time frames, I'm entering the trade and I can just watch it. I can get out to 50% or get out to 2/3, or I can wait till it comes all the way down here. I could have waited till here, but then there was a nice pullback. Wasn't in the mood for pullbacks today, so I went ahead and closed my trade out right here and got out of the trade. So it all depends on how you want to trade. There's no right and wrong way. You just got to understand the process. Again, same thing here. All-time high. I'm going to turn on my pivots. Why am I not? Hold on, my pivots are way the heck over here, right? Let's go to the 1 hour, see if I can see them better. There we go. So I've got my all-time high. I've got my pivots up here. We're actually in a new day now, right? So my all-time high still applies. My R2, I can actually move up to here now. So if I was going to trade off of an all-time high today, say price decided it wanted to come back all the way back up here to all-time high, I'm waiting for price on at least 3 time frames, the 15-minute, the 1 hour, higher time frames. I want them to all break and close above. I may go to the 5-minute depending on how it looks, but I want those 3 time frame candles to close above my all-time high for me to do an entry to go up into this area somewhere. And I typically go to about 2/3 of the next pivot level, depending on how much room I have. Now, if R2 is like right here, I might have to look at where R3 is, right? In terms of getting in on a pivot. Does everybody clear on pivots? Anybody not clear on pivots? You can also, if you decide you want to learn how to use the Fibonacci retracement tool, great tool for figuring out how to get out of trades, especially going into a discovery zone. I would recommend learning how to use it. It's fun if you're sort of a math geeky type kind of person. If you're not a math geeky type of person, then it may not be fun, right? So this is today's trade. So again, recapping, I'm looking at multiple time frames to see when am I going to get in this trade. I'm at an all-time high. What's this candle right here? Anybody? This green candle, what is that?
Got a week on this.
It looks like an indecision, but I can't
Spinning top.
Spinning top,
Spinning top.
exactly. And what about this candle right here?
Hangman.
Shooting.
Hangman.
Hangman. Yes, hangman.
So shooting star or spinning top and hangman. How much more of a clue do you need for us to get into a trade? Right? It's like the guy standing on the highway with big signs saying, stop, turn around, go the other direction. Right? That's exactly what these guys are doing. I'm at an all-time high. I haven't met any of the rules at all to go north of this. There's no indicators that price is doing the upsies. It's doing the downsies right now. And in my downsies, I've got to figure out where am I getting out. There's a huge fair value. No, there's no fair value gap there. Possibly. But I can turn on my fair value gap tool if I need to. But again, look at the wick on this candle right here. Look at all of that party action, right? Look at all this party action, and look what this candle did. Taking back the money, taking back the money, taking back the money, taking back. I'm even going to take a little bit more, right? That's exactly what this move did. The 12 o'clock candle just came in here and took everybody's lunch money, right? All of this money here for all these people that were opening on. Oh yeah, let's get in on buys. Let's get in on buys. Now it's nice if you got in a buy here and you roll it up and you close it out at your all-time high. But if you're still in a buy and you got your stop loss, a trailing stop loss, and it's trailing up behind you like this, and this bad boy turns around and comes down here, guess what? Probably made a little bit of profit if you got your trailing stop loss set right, but then you closed out your trade because price action is telling me that I need to go in this direction because I'm looking at my 4 hour. My 4 hour gives me just a clear 30,000 foot view of which direction. Let's take a quick look at the daily, right? Daily, a little bit harder to tell because I've got a lot of wick action going on here in my dailies. But looking at my 4 hour, nice trade there. Looking at my 1 hour, same thing, giving me some really nice candles to look at in terms of getting in or getting out of a trade. Got a nice spinning top, another spinning top. Just everything here is telling me head to the basement. I've got a fair value gap right here. I've got a fair value gap right here. Price is going to come down in this direction, right? So hopefully that helps you guys what to do at an all-time high. So said that to say this. What's the difference in an all-time high and a previous daily high when doing what I just said? Anybody?
There isn't. Wouldn't
There
you do-
isn't.
Yeah, it did the same thing.
There isn't, right? You're looking for your support levels, right? You're looking for your support and your resistance. Price is way the heck down here, right? It came into some market structure. I just call it the messies, right? When price is like up, down, no, up, down, no, up, down. But look at this. Look at this area through here where price came a lot. Look at all this price action here. It's coming down in here. Now, what are we doing? Right? So now I need to come in and mark my previous daily lows, my previous daily highs. I've got to come in and do all that kind of stuff, move my stuff around, move my previous daily high up to here, which is now my all-time high, put my previous daily low in here, and I'm off and running, right? My 15-minute today was just stupid messy. I don't even, oh, Lord Jesus. How? See what I'm saying? There's no way. There's just no way you're trading this mess. There's no price action here. There's nothing to look at here. This is like, okay, I got a hammer and a spinning top, and maybe get in a call, get in a buy. No, whoops, nope, turn around. Psych, nope, came down here. Okay, I got a dragonfly and a long-legged doji. Okay, that means I'm at the 50%, or I'm at the 60% of my fair value gap. It's probably a good idea to turn around. But this is too much, right? That's too much. This a little bit easier, right? A little bit easier. This wazy easier, wazies, like lotsies, bunches, right? I'm just making up words, right? So this is much easier to look at in price action. And then when I confirm it on my 4 hour price action, it's coming down here, right? It's just look at all this price action that needs to come back and fill this gap. It did. I'm trying to see, there's no gaps to fill here, so that's probably why it paused. There's still a really nice level right here where price just came up and touched, broke through, came back, bounced off of it again, and then took off. So this might be my next area that I'm going all the way down here. And if I threw my Fibonacci retracement tool on this on the daily, this is probably the 217 down in this area. If I was to guess, I haven't looked at it in a while. That's probably a long shot. So when you're looking at this, what am I doing at an all-time high that's different than a previous daily high or previous daily low? I'm looking at price action and I'm following my rules. What are my get-in rules? What is price telling me, right? Is price looking, do I have a shooting star, a hanging man, an inverted hammer, a spinning top, depending on, my support or resistance? That's what you guys need to look at. That's what Jess teaches in her class. That's what you need to put in your brain. That's what you need to put your suit on. And please, once I got away from hanging out in the 5-minute freaking chaos, right? Or the 3-minute chaos or the 1-minute chaos, and I got away from that. I do this, I catch myself doing this. I gotta be here. Let me hit stop share. I catch myself doing this, right? I'll go in and set a trade and I'll have it running. And then on my trading software, I go enter the trade on the 3-minute because I want to get it like to the exactly. So I do the 3-minute, then I'll go up to the 15-minute and figure out where I'm going to get out because I'm looking for a 15-minute candle or maybe a 1 hour candle, depending on if it's a boom candle and I don't want to know where to get out, and then I need to know where to set my stop loss. A lot of times I've made the mistake of leaving my trading software on the 3-minute. And I'm looking over here and I look at the and then it's doing this. I'm like, my brain, I'm like, freaks out. I'm like, Forrest, get off that time frame. So I go to my trading software and I put it on the 15-minute. I'm like, whew. I'm serious. Like I'm telling you guys, when you enter your trades, there's nothing wrong in going down to those. If you're a 1 minute scalper and you're like Christian who's scalping gold on the 1 minute, ups to you, praises to you, good job. I'm not going there. It's too messy, right? There's too much noise in the room, right? It's just too nuts. So I'm telling you, go up and look at that. If you have a spinning top and a shooting star, or spinning top and a hangman, or if you're on the support side, you're looking at a spinning top, an inverted hammer, a regular hammer, a long-legged doji, a dragonfly doji, anything in that area, and you're at support or resistance, price is going the other direction. Now you have to know that you're at support or resistance. If you're in the middleies, in the posi zone, you can see all kinds of candles going on. You can see long-legged doji, spinning tops, dragonflies, all kinds of stuff if it's going through consolidation to continue. So you got to understand, am I at a pause consolidation area or am I at support? Look left. If you got a whole bunch of price action where it's came down to a certain area, and if you need to use a little square boxy tool thing, because sometimes the wicks and the bodies are all like a little messy, so just get a box and draw a box around that, and that box a lot of times will help you determine whether or not you're out of support or resistance, right? If there's no way to draw a box, if you got one candle maybe to the left that had a little wick and price is just pausing right there, it's going to continue. It's going to continue right down to whatever your next market structures at, right? So does that help you guys?
Yes, sir.
So
Definitely.
I would strongly go watch that price action video again. I think I reshared it. It's in the advanced section as well. It's under Jess's advanced classes. In price action, it's about an hour and a few minutes long. It's a big deal to understand that you don't need to know every freaking candle in the world. Now you do need to understand what Waya calls boom candles. I call them mega candles. The true term is industrial candles, industry candles. They're the ones that are really big, right? Those are the big candles, right? You need to understand those and how they work and when to get in and get out. And if you see those and you learn fair value gaps, you put fair value gaps on top of that, you're going to be able to get into trades. Please stay away from the 5 minute or lower time frames. Right.
Coach,
And
is
yeah,
there a fair value gap training somewhere now that we don't have what's his face? Where can we find that?
I don't know. I thought Aaron Shepard taught it a long time ago, and I just put it in my brain. It sort of stuck. But you might want to just look through and see if
I'll go to
Lao
YouTube University. I'll look over
YouTube University and look for fair value gaps, and just remember I watched this video. This guy said there's 6 different types of fair value gaps. I'm like,
Oh, geez.
I didn't watch the video. I don't want to
No.
know about 6 different types of fair value gaps. I really don't. So be careful on YouTube University that you don't download a bunch of stuff that you can't use, right?
Yes.
Trying to find something really simple. There's an Asian guy. He's I believe he's either Korean or Chinese. He has a cool little like European Asian accent. He's a really good trader. I think he has a fair value gap training, and he's very good. He's very detailed, and he doesn't talk fast either, so we can understand what he's saying. I can't if I find him, if I run across him again, I'll share the video. But I think he has a fair value gap video as well. But the thing to understanding a fair value gap is practicing with them so you can learn. You learn like the insies and the throughsies and the exits, right? What does price do when it comes to the top of a fair value gap? What does it do when it gets to the 50% of the fair value gap? What does it do when it gets to the bottom of the fair value gap, or vice versa if it's going the other way, right? When do I choose to get in or get out? Sometimes you need to look left a little bit, right? My subconscious this morning looked left and I saw, oh, that's why I got out that trade, because there was some market structure right there. Sometimes you just see stuff that's subconscious, but look left. And that'll help a lot of times on your fair value gap. You'll have your big fair value gap candle but look to the left of that and see where price action is in relationship to that fair value gap. If you got a market structure over here with a bunch of wicks and it's at the 50%, there's a pretty good chance price is going to come to the 50% of that fair value gap. At least pause for a few minutes before it decides to continue, right? So if you put all that together, you can put all that together and okay, check, there's fair value gap, there's price action, I'm at support or resistance. If you're not sure if you're at support or resistance, go into the indicator tool and type in support and resistance, and I'll bet you some type of indicator is going to come up. Right?
Yeah.
You
Yep,
could
for sure.
probably, I think Lux Algo even probably has a support and resistance tool. You
Mhm.
can Google that. That might help, right? But you still need to understand the basic price action so you understand support and resistance, right? Jess has a real good class about just looking left and seeing how many times a certain area, and you can almost just like close one eye and go, okay, there's a whole bunch of candles. And that's serious. Like this is me going like, okay, I'm looking at my chart. I draw a line right here. That looks like, and I'm just gonna. You can put an arrow through it. You can put a dotted line through it. You can put a little square boxy around it, whatever to help you see the prices come up, come up, come up, come up, come up, or vice versa, bounce, 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 bounce. Either way, you can see that. And then, of course, there's some breakouts. Sometimes it'll pop through and come back, pop through and come back, and then create a funky bat pattern or butterfly pattern or a funky pennant pattern or whatever. And that's a whole nother deal, right? You don't have to get all that complicated, right? You just have to sort of understand where price is going to go based on where it was at. Cool.
Cool.
Anybody have any questions?
No, but this has been very helpful, Coach.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yes,
Glad-
extremely helpful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Laura. You're welcome. I have this pet bug that's been following me around everywhere I go today. It's like I don't know if it's him or his twin brother.
No, it's his little sister. No, just kidding.
Little sister, yeah. Get away from me. Go home. Go back to your dad. So I saw the coolest now, and now you got me talking about bugs, right? I saw the coolest. I thought it was a mayfly at first. Then I thought it was a dragonfly. And then it was some kind of other bug. And I was looking at it because it had like 4 wings. I'm like, it's gotta be a dragonfly. But it didn't look like a dragonfly because his body was like not right. I'm like, it was sort of cool and it creeped me out a little bit. I'm like, go away, because if you bite me, it might turn into some type of alien creature or something that Spider-Man has to fight. I don't know. Anyway,
I have
so
a
yeah, it was
question, Coach, quick one. I was looking at
sure.
my notes and I was talking about going to the twinsies, when you have 2 candles and price action going to the other one. And then my thought was incomplete. Can you show me so I can finish? I didn't understand my notes about the twinsy candles returning to
The equal highs and equal lows.
equal highs, yeah, and equal lows.
Hey, let me see if I can find an example. Here, give me a second. That might be. Oh, there's a good one. Right. Yeah, there's a lot here. Okay. You just got to understand again, it's the same thing with price action, equal highs and equal lows, right? So when price is going somewhere, and this is on the 1 hour, right? You see how these 2 candles came up here and just sort of created they're equal high, and they're not exactly, right? Equal highs aren't exactly, some people are like, well, they're not exactly an equal high. Well, they're close enough, right? So when you see this, that's going to automatically, since remember, if we rewind this back, we don't see any price after this yet. All we know is this price just came up here, this one turned around, and we're like here somewhere. So when I draw my level, right? When I draw my level, I'm going to come up here and draw a level across this. Right? I'm gonna grab, I can do what tool. If you want to do the little boxy tool, you can, or whatever. Right? I'm just gonna draw my little level across here and say, okay, I've got equal highs. Now, what does that mean? Again, I don't know what any of this other price is doing right now. All I know is what is price doing right here. It came down, it came all the way back down here, it came way down here. And then again, I got equal lows right here, right? And the equal lows bounced right off of all this market structure and the 50% of a fair value. I think that's a daily fair value gap here that looks like it's been all eaten up. But it came down here and it sort of paused, right? If you look left, you can see where price came up into this area. It touched, it broke through, came back, it touched. So these candles came down here. So I got here, just let me get rid of that. Right. So now I've got an equal lows, right? So my next thing is, okay, Forrest, if I've got equal lows here, I've got an inverted hammer, I've got a hammer candle, there's a pretty good chance that price is coming up in this direction. If I don't have anything else over here that's telling me to slow down and get out earlier, like there's a fair value gap right here, right? Fair value gap right here. So if that fair value gap's not there, my next get out area is going to be this equal high. Now, did it go all the way up there? No, it came right up to the top of this level here. So I've got to be smart when I'm getting ready to get out, because this came down and created a little bit of structure here, another level. So I want to just come across, and it's just sort of like building steps, right? Looking for steps so I can draw an arrow. Probably would, I always do stuff even, so I'm sort of weird, right? So I've got my equal high zone up here. I've got a little level right here. Let me pull that down so I get more touches, right? So I've got touch. So I've got this zone, price is coming down here. It's coming up. I've got a fair value gap, which price might stop at, which it did, right? And this is, I'm walking through this with you guys because this is the stuff that I see. Come on, box thing. Right? So I've got a fair value gap right here. So I'm down here in the basement. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna enter this trade. I see I had a inverted hammer. I've got a hammer candle. I'm gonna go ahead and get in right here. So I decided, okay, where do I get out now? Where's my get out point? Bottom of a fair value gap. That's a good get out point. Price comes right up here, bounces off the fair value gap, comes down here, breaks through the fair value gap, comes up to the 50%, sort of pauses, continues all the way through the fair value gap, and look where it came up to. Right up to this level. So I have a lot of opportunity if I enter down here, and I know this is a long answer to your equal highs or equal lows, but they work the same way. Is it going to get all the way up here? It did eventually, all the heck way over here, right? It came up, broke through, but it came through the fair value gap. So that's what you're looking for, right? I like to use the movie that I don't know if it was Matrix 1, 2, or 3, but if he had the little Asian guy with all the keys, and Neo was trying to get through all the doors, and the guy had he had like all these keys, and he was getting through all these doors, and he was like, we got to go through this door, right? That's the same thing here. As you're working your way up these steps, like maybe like, oh, I'm a little bit scaredy cats. I think it's going to be a pullback. It pulled back, right? It broke through, it came up. And this is just where Jess is just talking about putting your levels in here. Draw your levels. Okay, it came up, it bounced off of that. It continued up, right? It bounced off the fair value gap. It broke through the fair value gap, through the 50% of the fair value gap. Basically now completed and closed out the fair value gap. Now where is it going? It came up to this level and did us a pause. It paused and it gave us this really cool freaking hangman. It gave us this really cool shooting star. So now I know I got resistance right here, right? This is sort of irrelevant right now. If you want to call this entire zone a resistance zone, right? If I wanted to pull this down here and do like this, no problem in doing that at all, right? So came up here, bounced off of this. This fair value gap doesn't exist anymore because all of this price action ate it up. So I'm not worried about this anymore, right? This price action filled this fair value gap. Now I'm heading back to the basement. Like, where do I go? Wait a minute, there's a wick right here, Forrest. I think if I'm getting in right here and I see either this wick or this wick, I'm probably going to get outs. This one has a little more power to it because you have quite a few more touches coming across here. So I can probably set my get out point right at this level here. And this is the things that I look at when I'm getting in and getting out of trades. I'm just looking like, okay, where could price possibly pause or stop? It went right through this. I'm okay with that. Right? This is my decision. If I made the decision to get out here and it continued, I'm gonna stay in the trade long, whatever. Right? I'm not doing all that. I'm not doing all that. I'm looking at protecting my capital, not stressing out. It came down, it paused, it broke through this zone a little bit, did a little liquidity sweep, came all the way back down here. And guess what's down here? Right? Took forever to get there because this was Friday and this is Tuesday. Right? So we had to go all the way through the freaking weekend to come back down here to my equal lows. Right?
Okay.
We're working on the 1 hour time frame. So I'm saying this because you can trade on this time frame. You could trade on the 1 hour and 4 hour and be okay. You just have to be okay with trading and being in a trade for an entire day or 2 days or over a weekend. Speaking of weekends, for anybody that's taking you're going to do the challenge, you can't have any trades open over the weekend unless you do one of their swing trade challenges. So if you are going to do a challenge, just make sure you understand the rules. Anyway, say that to say this. So this is a long-term trade, right? It's up, came back down, came all the way back down to equal lows, turn around, and guess what? It's heading right back up to this level again. It came right back up to this zone, if we want to call it the zone. It broke through, broke past. Look how it paused at my equal highs. Came down here from the equal lows, pushed almost all the way up, came to this level, came all the way back down. And this is basically how you back test, guys. This is just like, okay, what does price do? What is it? It does the same crap, excuse the language, over and over and over and over and over. It does it over and over, right? It broke these equal highs. It came up here. It came back and bounced off of them. And then it took off and created another equal high, right? And then look what it did, Carlotta. I draw my little zone across here, right? Where everything wants to come down into, because it came here, it touched here, it touched here, it broke through, it touched here, it came back up and touched here, came up, did equal highs again. If I'm getting in up here, I'm going to verify this because this isn't a pretty get in right here. This is actually at the end of the day at 3 o'clock. And then we're getting in here over the weekend. This is the US 30. Now it's running down here. I've got equal lows again, right? At market structure, bouncing off of previous structure, it bounced, it bounced, it bounced, and boom, it took off, right? So that's how you watch, but you've got to add the rest of the recipe in here. It's not just, oh, equal highs, created a little bit of structure, came down, created some equal lows, had a fair value gap in here that it created on the way down. Oh, price typically comes back. It filled in the hole of the fair value gap, created a little sort of zone here where it bounced off, right? Resistance, got resistance. Now I'm coming back down this way again. Came down and got a little bit of structure right here, right? Slowed down. There's no way on God's green earth 2 years ago I would have been able to explain any of this or saying this to you guys that made any sense, because it didn't make any sense. I couldn't see this stuff, right? I couldn't see the little bitty clues. Come on, give me a box like this, right? And if I pull it back this way, it's even got touch, right? Again, perfect get out zone. If I get in up here, because I got my get in candles, I entered here, perfect get out zone right here, right? This wick might be the only thing that might slow me down. There's another little get out zone right here, right? Either place is fine, because whatever you choose to do is okay, because you're going to set your stop loss probably right here at the equal highs, right? So if I was going to do this, it would look like this. And I would probably be conservative like I am. I would get out right here. All right. I would get in right here because I got two get in candles. I would get in when this candle opened and continued. I might verify it on a smaller time frame just to see, to fine tune it. my stop loss is going to be right, maybe just under the top of these equal highs. And I'm just going to let it ride out and get out. Perfect trade right there. If it comes down here, probably could have pushed it down here, is fine, but I'm pretty sure I would have made enough money right here to be happy with it. And that's 2 hours, right? Here's a 1 hour candle. This is a 2 hour candle. Quite, or actually probably end up being about an hour and a half. But could you stay in a trade that long to make whatever amount of money that you're making because you're trading US 30? But you've got to see all of this other stuff and figure out where's my get insy point and where's my get outsy point, right? If I'm going to get in down here when I see it bounced off of all of this structure, right? Create a support level down here. Why does this always make me click it twice? Right? Got support right here. Everybody and his brother came up, touch, breakthrough, created support, came up here, bounced, created support all day long. There's my get in count, right? Inverted hammer, enter. Now where do I get out? That's your biggest decision. Where do I get out? Do I get out here? Do I get out here? Do I get out up here? No wrong answer. You just got to commit to your trade, right? Create a trailing stop loss, let it follow you up, right? If price does turn around and come back, you're not going to lose everything that you've made because you created a trailing stop loss and you let it run right up. Same thing, opposite direction. Is this going to happen every time? Is it pretty like this every time? No, sometimes it's ugly. Like this is ugly. This has got the uglies going on right here. It's like, although I did bounce off support, it's just ugly, right? We can't see this though, right? We can't see any of this future stuff. All we see is this huge long wick candle with this next candle. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. There's my 8 o'clock candle that opened up. Do I have any options for trades in here? Possibly, right? Depending on looking at market structure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, guys, that's a wrap. I will let me hit stop record.